Now, there's tons of Corvettes on the market these days, but not too many that are built just like this one. Let's dive into this thing and see why. I'm Peter from Faraz Auto Sales, and this is the 2023 Corvette Z06 Z07 Performance Package. Now, we got many models of Corvettes on the market. They've been around for decades now, as most people know, but then we have the Grand Sport, the Stingray, the Z06, like this Corvette is basically top of the top. Then you add the appearance package that it has, you add the carbon flash package it has, you add all of the accoutrements that come with this beast is what makes this one separate from others. Let's take a closer look at this thing. I mean, we have the Jake C8R appearance kit, which is again, all these decals from factory. You have full Z07 performance package, carbon painted flash car. It's a beautiful black flake blue. We have multiple Corvettes. We can check them out throughout the video and show you the differences of how one of these really stands out. This model happens to be the Targa. Also comes with a full carbon fiber roof, removable. We can take a look at that in the trunk of the car later. Really cool. This one pops out with some seriously crazy features. Factory Cup 2R racing slicks. These slicks are only supposed to be utilized for, I think it's over 23 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, these just won't get proper traction on the road. Unbelievable. I think these tires for a set of 4 is over $13,000, $14,000. Someone can correct me if you want, but also this one has the upgraded carbon ceramic brakes. Huge brake kit with the beautiful copper colored brakes. You can see the Brembo on those. These are all tied into the spec of the car. If you see this wheel in the sun, it'll blow your mind. Like, they look black here, but they just pop with the color. That's the metallic flake in this. That's what the carbon flash is, which is the appearance package. Similar to the European sports car, supercar market, we've moved into the beautiful venting on the side here, because of course this engine is in the rear of the vehicle, which is different than the older model, the C7, the C6s and such, with the huge motor in the front. This is situated in the back, which is very cool. So check this out. All carbon flash comes down on the side, the painted carbon fiber, carbon flash coming right into the back here to just shuttle all that air in right into that motor. Even the Z06 badges on the side have the carbon flash painted to match the whole design of this vehicle. Okay, let's take another look at the C8R Punisher, the Jake logo, or I guess some of the old school guys would have called it the Punisher logo. It swings around the whole vehicle. So you get the back graphics there, comes right down to the front of this vehicle. You can't miss this. So that was an old, I think it was in the early 2000s, one of the team racers wanted a skull placed on the vehicle, and iconically enough, it won the race that year. So that kind of kept with the Corvette's whole tie-in to the Jake skull, or the Punisher skull, as I'm sure some people call it. And as you can see, it really gives this thing a meaner look. You take this graphic off and kind of just becomes a normal vet. This really sticks out, unlike you can see here. Same body style, different vehicle. But man, this is just wicked. It's beautiful. All of this car is made from Chevrolet. None of this is done by the customer or anyone that's owned this vehicle. This is all from spec. The mufflers are insane. The 4-tip mufflers all in gloss black. Man, this thing's beautiful. Can't wait to fire this up a little bit later on and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, let's hop in this thing and see what we can find. Again, not like the usual package. You have the 1ZL, ZL2, 3ZL package, all those. That changes kind of what you get on the interior as well as the exterior. So we got Z07 performance package on the car, give her the bigger brakes, all that stuff, a little bit more different tweakage to the engine. But the interior is where this is like, just really wows you compared to the exterior. I mean, like, look at this thing. It's got full carbon interior. It's got the carbon race seats from Corvette. It's got custom build orange seat belts, which are kind of neat. I'm not sure if I would personally go with the orange to go with the red, but very nice. Full carbon steering wheel. This thing is just stunning. It comes also with the amenities that you wouldn't expect to have in a race car, which are things like heated cooled seats, like Apple CarPlay, all the fancy things that some of the other race spec vehicles don't come with, which is really neat. Bose Performance Series sound, which is the highest package you can get. Let's take a look at how simple it would be to drive this thing every day, or to go to the track and focus on what we're doing. It feels like you're in a fighter jet cockpit. I think we've reviewed another Corvette, but this one really kind of steps it up another level. You have your traction controls, your parking, your reverse, all this stuff's at a touch of a button here. Carbon fiber paddle shifters, which are beautiful. It's not a far touch away from your infotainment screen here. The door, again, really neat, opens with a simple electronic button press, which is a really neat feature. And then you have some more luxurious features as well, like full Alcantara roof liner, which is not like you don't find that in the other Corvettes. That's top of the top, the highest level you can get. You still have cup holders, which is really sweet. Like, you know, have a drink and relax and, you know, take it easy. You got your connections to all of your, you know, your USB, your auxiliary, everything you need there. It's actually just a really thought out, put together cockpit for drivability and functionality as well. You got heads up display there to make it easy if you're just cruising. So yeah, aside from having a boatload of horsepower, it's still quite practical, which is cool. So the stunning dash, when you turn this thing on or put the auxiliary mode on, as we can take a look, you just, all the signals of the emblems come on here. It's beautiful, shows you the full picture of the vehicle on the dash. And it's just very, very, very impressive from Corvette. Now, before we start this up, we want to touch more about the engine on this thing, because there's just a lot more to go through than there is on the regular Vette. This is nowhere near the same platform, same motor that Corvette's seen for quite a long time, the 6.2 liters, which is still used in the Escalade, still used in the other platforms of the Corvette. But this motor here, underneath this massive trunk, is a 5.5 liter V8 motor, very different. And I wanted to touch on the motor first, because when you hear how this thing sounds when it starts, this doesn't resemble your normal Corvette. This sounds almost more like an exotic. Sounds kind of like a Ferrari. You know, it sounds almost, it's just very different than what you're used to. And it's kind of refreshingly different, because as old as the Corvette has been and as nostalgic as the same motor's been utilized, a change sometimes brings some more opportunity. So I think we're gonna maybe see in the new ZR1, I think it's the ZR1, that we'll have a supercharged version of this motor, which would be really, really cool. So instead of the convertible version of this vehicle, we have the Targa version removable roof, but this removable roof is fully carbon fiber. Look at this. And it is also super lightweight. So one person can very easily put this thing on and off. And it has the, look at that, the full Alcantara roof liner to go with the rest of the vehicle. I'll show you how this goes right now. So you simply got to carry it over, flap the rear view mirrors down, or the side mirrors down. And this roof is so light that it's not hard to line up on your own. So then once you do that, you can follow me going into the car. Let's take a look at this. It's actually kind of got these old school mechanisms that match the way the old versions were too. See, it's got these old mechanisms that they kind of, all the other Corvette Targas have the same release, which is nice. So if you had one before, you'll know how to use it again. It's not a hard learning curve. The back of this roof slides underneath where a clasp goes. The fronts, you kind of got to jimmy around, and then you crank them down, and that's basically it. Got a small latch at the back to get it undone after, and you just follow the process in reverse. Super simple. To tie in with the race version of this, the Targa roof is substantially lighter than the full convertible roof, also with the upgraded carbon spec of this roof, because I believe you can also get them with a glass roof, which isn't technically a glass, it's more like a plexiglass, again, for weight. So take this thing back off and pop it in the rear, and we'll go from there. All right, now that we talked about this really cool new motor that Corvette has, let's go start it up. You got to hear this thing. All right, so now that we get this thing fired up, we can take a little bit of a closer look at the infotainment system, everything else. So when you're toggling through with your thumb here, you can see, you know, you have your trip computer. It shows you your speed, your fuel economy, performance. You got launch control through the performance toggle mode. You can just sweep down and see all the things you have, lap timers. You have your G-force meters. Again, your launch control once it's in a different mode. That's one of my favorite things, is they've changed the area right underneath this little leather mode area that you can see. It says mode right there. You can toggle through by spinning this switch, and you're going to see all the different modes that you can enter into. This one's my mode, allows you to adjust, you know, your engine sound, brake feel, suspension, steering, the whole deal. But then you have all the other factory modes that are programmed into this vehicle. Change the stiffening, the suspension, change your steering around. So tour mode, you have sport mode, so you can hear the exhaust open up even more, the valved exhaust. And then I think you have track mode, which probably is restricted to track use only, which is really cool. And yeah, so that's how you can individualize everything in your vehicle. You have your apps, shows you your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto. It's also got your safety features, blind spot, park assist, traffic alert. I know the cameras in these are very cool. So you have a rear camera. Once you switch into drive with the drive here, it should flip itself to your 360 view, also rear view camera here as well. And I know I've been in some Camaros, some other cars where visibility is very, very restricted. This is pretty nice. Very, very cool. Now this 5.5 liter V8 naturally aspirated puts out 670 horsepower. That's with the Z07 performance package. The Aero kit gives this thing over 700 pounds of downforce on the vehicle, and that Targa roof that we talked about earlier reduces this thing's weight by almost 100 pounds. So if you're looking to come see a crazy Corvette like this one, you gotta come check us out at Faraz Auto Sales. This thing's available along with a bunch of other models. All right, stop by, like, subscribe our videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.